basically, I'm just going to give you guys an introduction into what it's like to be a new graduate working in a private practice. It's not actually that scary at all. It's actually really, really cool and very fun. So these are the branches that we have, okay? We've got 9, with a number 10 in the city practice opening up soon. So the work that we do, mainly everything. We do everything, veneers, bridges, everything that's on there. We do, in terms of orthodontics, we do have a dentist that she's done orthodontics, so she likes to pick her own cases as well. She's very happy for us to sit in, and she explains a lot of stuff to us as well. So that's great. We get to see a lot of orthodontics as well. Wisdom teeth. Our boss Jackie is the man at Wisdom teeth who takes everything and anything out. Yeah. So basically, we do everything. So I mainly work in 2 branches. Okay. We just started. I mainly work in 2 branches, one branch being Henderson branch, which is West Auckland, so the socioeconomic group there is average-ish. I work 2 days. I work 2 days, Mondays and Fridays, okay? So most of my treatment that I do, a lot of extractions. You get most of my extraction experience actually comes from Henderson. A lot of fillings, deep decay. A lot of dentures, because people always have got multiple missing teeth and they want a quick fix. So dentures, you can turn over a denture in like 2 weeks in private practice. We do a lot of ACC claims. A lot of WIM, so work and income codes. We do the paid relief scheme, Y Health. So these are all contracts for people that are on the benefit. So cheaper treatment basically. SDB and DB is basically, SDB, we treat a lot of kids under the age of 13 when we usually get referral forms only. DB, basically kids under the age of 18. We have to do, once a year they get a clean, x-rays, fillings the government pays for as well. Next, I work at Sylvia Park. Now working in Sylvia Park is great because Jackie works there 3 days. So yeah, he is always there when I'm there as well. Sylvia Park, I spend more days there, 3 days, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So the treatment mostly includes a lot of scale and polishes. You get a lot of working people that come in every sort of 3 months, 6 months for a quick clean. A lot of perio treatment. Again, people have the money to pay. Fillings, extractions. Again, in Sylvia Park, you get to do a lot of crown, veneer, bridges, a lot of CEREC work as well. Implants. Jackie does a lot of implants. We do a lot of treatment planning with him when it comes to implants. He places implants as well that we watch as well. And we've basically seen the patient through, the aesthetic part of it as well, putting the actual crown on as well. And again, we treat a lot of DB and so under the age of 13 and under the age of 18 as well. So just some of my cases that I've done that I would never imagine I'll do so soon after graduation. So I had this patient that came in with teeth looking like that, and she was quite young, she's 32 years old. She basically just said, look, I have the money, I want all crowns, She did have a comparative code from another practice, so basically I matched it, which is probably slightly lower, and she was so happy because me and Jackie were working together with her. So we decided we'll do 4 crowns and 2 veneers on the 3s. Patient was very happy with that. She was happy to pay. I was kind of scared to do it because it's quite a big job, but Jackie was just like, just do it, you can do it. You're never going to be able to, you won't do it until you actually just gather the courage, you just have to do it. So yeah. So those are my crowns done, and that was the result. Patient was quite happy with it. We gave it back to her in 2 weeks. She did have a low smile line, so she wasn't too worried about the black triangle. But in actual fact, the contact point could have been a lot longer, but she was very happy with it, and it's just something to note for the future. You learn through everything that you do. So she's really happy, we're happy. Next one, so a patient came in with many gaps in between her teeth, and she basically, as well, she was like, give me crowns, give me veneers, give me anything you can. And we decided that after discussing it with her, me and Jackie as well, we thought best option, close up the gaps using composite. For now, just to see if she likes the result, and then in the future we can move on to crowns and veneers. She was happy with that. So we managed to get quite a good aesthetic result. Bottom gaps as well, she wanted closed. Unfortunately, the gaps were a bit too big for the bottom, but I mean, I tried my best to, and she was happy with it. So she's happy, we're happy. Next one, 2-1, complicated crown fracture. You do get a lot of ACC work like that. A lot of people fall down on stairs, you know, they always end up breaking their front 2 teeth. So they come to you where you have to actually do a root canal and do a crown, and the government ACC will pay for half of the entire treatment. So yeah, this is one of the cases. There you go, you got a nice crown. Another one as well, but this is a 1-1, did a root canal on that. There you go. This is actually an example of a typical Henderson patient that we treat. Again, you know, they always have multiple decayed teeth, multiple missing teeth, you know, and then they come in towards the end and they say, I'm over it, can you please fix my teeth, you know, and they have the money, the government pays for them as well. Yeah, so she basically, I did some composite fillings on her, gave her upper lower partial denture. She got a tapeworm whitening kit, made her some bleaching trays. She was happy. I think the entire treatment would have come up to at least about $3,000, but she was happy to pay that. And yeah, in about 2-3 weeks, she got all her teeth, everything, so she was glad. My first CEREC case, very cool. Jackie does a lot of CEREC, so I wanted to basically do a CEREC, and I managed to convince the patient to do one on the 1-1. The reason why we picked CEREC and not actually send it to the lab is because she actually wanted it on the same day. So we said, okay, CEREC, and we tried to color match it as, you know, as well as possible. I picked this case, I basically designed it. Jackie taught me how to design it, and we used to design it on the computer together, and so we managed to design it. So this is just part of glazing it. And there you go. I'm very happy. We've got the CEREC done. And there you go. That's the patient. She's happy with the CEREC. All right. And this is where I work. This is my new chair in Sylvia Park. So Jackie bought me this chair about 2 months ago. It's got an intraoral camera. The chairs are very comfortable. The intraoral cameras are great because you can show patients even staining, you know, and they're like, oh my God, you know, so you can put a fish sealant on and stuff like that. So it's great, you know, and they can actually see what fillings you're doing, you know, they can see the before and the after as well, so they actually, you know, they don't mind paying that money. Yeah, so this is where I work. It's a very comfortable working environment. Okay, so why private practice? I'll definitely say the good thing about it is that you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do, provided that you know what you're doing and you discuss it with Jackie. And there's so many other dentists working in Smile Dental as well. You know, I always discuss cases with my colleagues as well. Yeah, and Jackie gives you the freedom to do what you want to do. A lot of aesthetic work, a lot of wisdom teeth extractions. I mean, we never really got much experience at all in dental school with wisdom teeth, but when we started off, we observed Jackie for a couple of days just doing wisdom teeth, and eventually we just got it, and we would just do it, even though we're kind of scared to do it sometimes. We just do it, we get stuck, we call him, he talks us through it, and like now we're used to doing wisdom teeth, so that's good. You also have fixed working hours, which is great. Potential to earn good money in private practice, and you get a head start compared to your hospital peers because at some stage everyone is going to move to private practice. And with extractions and stuff, I mean, you get all that experience in the private practice as well. What are the challenges? I'd probably say time factor. I mean, you are expected to do a filling in like half an hour or less, like a DO, you know. Some patients, a lot of patients come in with, you know, they need 3-4 fillings and they want it done in an hour, you know, the time that they have, so you're stuck having to do 3-4 fillings in an hour. So you have the time factor, you know, root canals, 45 minutes to an hour for each stage perhaps, you know. So you got to get used to the time factor, and you will get used to it. We all got used to it after like the first 2 months. It is a very demanding job in the sense that you are fully responsible for the patient. You see your work come back to you. After you do a filling, the patients are going to come back to you. In dental school, we haven't been around long enough to see the work that we've done actually come back to us. So patients will come back, you know, you see a DO, they say, oh, I didn't know there was a DO there, you know, and then you do the filling and then they come back with pain, you're in a lot of trouble, you know what I mean? So in that sense, you've got to be very careful. The patients, these are your patients, they will come back to you for years. Charging patients, treatment is a lot more expensive compared to dental school. So you really got to be like, yep, a filling is $250, you know. Um, and some patients will find it quite expensive, but all private practices, they charge even more sometimes, so it's quite normal. Probably the next one will be familiarizing yourself with the different contracts, basically just paperwork. A lot of paperwork with ACC, with treating kids. There's a lot of paperwork that needs to be done as well. Another one, dealing with apprehensive patients. You do get a lot of patients that come in, the first thing they say was, I really don't like being at the dentist, I don't like dentists, I've had many horrible experiences. So you really have to know how to deal with them. And the most important challenge, I think, for me, and Abdullah would probably agree with me as well, people's perception of you as a young dentist. A lot of them will come in and say, you look really young, when did you graduate, And you really have to be confident to be like, yeah, I just graduated, but you just figure it out. And even though we've been working for a few months, I just say, oh, yeah, I've been working for a year, you'll be absolutely fine. So it's about being very confident. You can't be scared at all being in private practice, okay? And you say, why Smile Dental? I'll probably say the most important thing is probably we get a lot of mentorship from Jackie. We've got like 10 to 14 other dentists in Smile Dental itself. So we can always call, and every dentist, they're good at one specific field, so you can always call them and ask them, discuss cases. I've gotten stuck at extractions when I first started. I was in Henderson, Jackie was on leave. I rang him up and he immediately came to help me with the extraction. Abdullah's done the same, so we're never really scared to do anything, because we know if we get stuck, there's always someone there to help us. We've got 9 practices, so we have the opportunity to treat a wide range of socioeconomic groups. So basically people that have a lot of money to pay, for aesthetic work. Again, many dentists working in Smile Dental, so help is always available when needed. Our support staff, they're absolutely amazing. Our DAs, our receptionists, our general manager, Penelope. The support staff there, I feel, has got me through my first few months. There have been a lot of times when, it's gotten very tough, and sometimes if you need a cry, your DA is absolutely amazing. You can just cry and they'll be absolutely fine. They'll tell you, look, it's normal, So, I mean, in terms of that, receptionists are absolutely great. You can actually tell them, look, can you please book in more patients for me? And they'll be like, sure, and then you get full books. Another thing is that me and Abdullah, we've basically got full books every day since we started. We may get like a 15-20 minute gap, but mostly we're always fully booked. And basically, we're a big family unit. I mean, we've done a lot of things together. We're all very comfortable with each other. We go out for dinners and stuff. So, I mean, we're always, it's a big family unit. And yeah, I mean, I would fully say join us, and all the best for your interviews. Okay? Abdullah, I'll pass it on to you.
Thanks. Okay, so also like a couple of things about like private practice as well is like your mentor really actually sets your limits. So whether you work with us or whoever, make sure you have a good mentor, because if Jackie said to me, oh, that's a really tough wisdom tooth, just refer it to me or refer it to oral surgeon, then I'll never get to do wisdom teeth. Whereas Jackie's been sort of, horizontal. I mean, I was 2 months out. I was taking out horizontal impacted wisdom teeth, I mean, I guarantee you at hospital you won't be doing that, And basically because, as Dee said, if I get stuck, I just give him a call, say, look, Jackie, this is, and we got this WeChat thing, and we send x-rays and, the cases and stuff, and he just tells you exactly how to take it out, and all you have to do is just follow the instructions, so if you get stuck. So it's pretty good. Definitely private practice, I mean, for me, I think, and Dee, it's worked out really well, and probably more surprising than we thought. I mean, everyone sort of raves on about hospitals and, we've got to go to get a hospital job, and and it's like you just wonder how, what sort of experience they're getting. From what I hear, private practice seems to be a lot more sort of full on, and definitely in Auckland, if you want a private practice, make sure you got a busy one, because there's a lot of quiet ones out there, and I think we're quite lucky to be a part of Smile Dental. Have full books, and Jackie spends a lot of money on advertising, and his name's quite well known in Auckland, so it's really good. I'm just going to cover a few things about basically when you first graduate, and show you a few cases and stuff, and hopefully it'll help you in either way. So when you first graduate, you need to know you've got DCNZ registration, radiology license, and ACC, NZDA, dental protection, ADA if you work in Auckland, GPDP, graduate program, and your student loan, 15% of your pay goes automatically to student loan. So there's quite a lot of costs at the initial stages, so don't think you'll be a millionaire straight away. It takes a little while, you've got to pay these things, and then you start to sort of save your money and look at your bank account and go, oh, actually, I actually am a dentist now. So yeah, I mean, just a heads up, and make sure you get onto these fairly early, because you don't want to be taking X-rays without your radiology license and obviously your registration. If you wait till the last minute, everyone's cramming, they're going to take like a month to get back to you. So probably best to get onto that pretty quick. This is my chair. This is where the magic happens in Henderson. And Henderson, I do like full clearances. I do a lot of really broken down teeth and stuff. And I haven't put the pictures up here. I've got heaps on my phone, so I'll show you guys later. But basically, this is sort of as much primary care as it gets, really. People come in, they're not even an appointment. You've got like full book. They'll come in and they're in pain, and they're literally holding their face and stuff. And then you're like, okay, like my lunchtime now, and then you feel bad, and you're just like, okay, I'll see you. And then you come in and you take the tooth out, and honestly half the time they're like crying and hugging you and stuff, because we got a couple of contracts that make it cheap. Hospital, they extract the tooth for $40. We've got the same contract in both Albany and Henderson, $40 if you got a community service card. And the government obviously, puts their share in. But we've got a Y Health contract, which is free dental treatment for if you belong to a certain trust. And people come in, you get three treatments in a year. So people come in, they buy lunch and ask you if you want to go fishing with them and stuff, and you're like, I'm all right. Anyway, endodontics, I think that was pretty average at school. I was pretty average at endodontics, but after when I got out, obviously I've done a couple of, a little bit too short, a little bit too long, but definitely been more consistent lately. And basically going in, you guys can see pretty intense endos, and they're fine, not a problem. This is a retreatment. Actually, this is interesting case. Patient went to Japan for her dental treatment, and you can see the tooth file, probably on this side. Can you see? What do you guys think of the root canal? Can you guys? Oh, it's probably not that clear, but basically that's where the GP stopped, and it's very thin. And they call it wimpy, right? And look at the one next to it as well. The one next to it is so short, and only 2 canals are filled. On upper 6, how many canals should there be in upper 6? You guys know?
3 to 4.
4. So usually it's actually always 4, but dentists only find maybe 40–50%. Anyway, I'm not Robert Love, but I'll just tell you that. Anyway, she ended up spending, that would have cost her maybe $800–900, let's say. I'll be nice, I'll do a good deal. But then she went overseas, and then I was like, obviously it's still sore. I showed her the X-ray, and then it ended up costing her nearly $1,500 because I had to do a retreatment. Much more expensive, lower success rate. So there was this big spill about it in the news. Did you guys see that? Overseas, people going overseas for dentistry and stuff. So I think this is the kind of cases dentists should be coming up with, and really showing you guys, look, this is the dentistry that might come out of, you might get. So oral surgery, this is probably my strength. Pretty much this is distal impacted, and pretty much look at the root on that, and stitches. And I think over here they probably tell you, I know that because obviously I was just graduated, but they say you've got to raise a flap and take out heaps of bone and all that stuff. But I think Jackie really taught us a way that's a lot more simple and straightforward, and a lot less swelling, a lot less pain for the patient, a lot less chance of getting complications. So I think most of the time you don't even really need a flap. You just do a little release incision, section the tooth, and take it out, and that's fine. I haven't had problems. One time, actually, it was really funny. He was getting an award that day for entrepreneurship, which I'll show you guys the video later. But I got stuck on a wisdom tooth, and that was the last time I got stuck. But I got stuck on a wisdom tooth, and it was, I think, horizontal, mesial impacted. It wasn't even horizontal, but the guy was sort of a big, strong-looking guy, and I was like, there's a chance I'm going to get stuck. And I told him that at the start. He's like, oh, look, it's really sore. Just take it out. I'm like, okay. I started taking it out,
I think it was about 5 or 4, it was the last one, you know, just walked in at the last minute. And then I was like, okay, I told Jackie, the award ceremony was at 7, I think it was at 5. I was there till about 6, 6:30, and still couldn't get it out. I got like half of it out. Root's still there. I'm like, oh shit, called Jackie. Jackie, what do I do? He's like, okay, I've got my award ceremony. I've got to be there now, so I'll tell you what to do. Put 2 massive cartridges of local and put them on heaps of painkillers, and we'll do it after the ceremony. So we ended up seeing him at 1 a.m. Was it 1 a.m. to take it out? 12? 12? We took out the 2. And it was really, really funny because the guy was actually really, I gave him my number. He was texting me because I gave him like codeine and stuff, and he was like, oh man, I'm feeling really high, is that normal? I was like, oh look, don't worry, you know, blah, blah. And we ended up taking out 2, and he was happy. He sent me his dad afterwards, you know, and so obviously case selection, but as long as you warn them beforehand, you're like, okay, look, I'm doing you a favor. I mean, I would never try this like without Jackie. But yeah, but after that, I mean, that's how I learned. Prosthodontic. To be honest, I'm more sort of like surgery, endo. Like I don't do that many crown. I do it obviously a lot more than dental school, but I'm not sort of that big on cosmetics as D. D's more sort of cosmetics. I'm more like surgery, implants and stuff. So I mean, obviously I've done crowns and bridges, and I haven't done any bridges this year, but I've done quite a few crowns. Orthodontics, we're doing a course in November to just help us learn a little bit more about like Invisalign and orthodontics in general, and they include a case that you can use. And I've got actually a lot more cases than this, but these are the ones that are probably a bit more suitable. The other ones are a little bit tricky. Do you guys read up on the cost of dental treatment or anything? Do you guys actually know, like say in Auckland, how much things actually cost? Anyone? Can you guys ever guess? Like, how much do you think, like, let's say, impacted wisdom tooth, like, how much do you think that? No, per tooth. Yeah, about 2,000. Yeah, for all 4. Yeah. So you're looking at about that, and a lot of the time, like we do oral sedation, which is like pretty straightforward. I mean, you don't need extra training, and everyone does it. People come in a bit scared, and you just say, oh, we'll give you some pills to relax you and put you to sleep and things like that. And you just give them maybe like diazepam, 30 milligrams, 20 milligrams, depends on the size, and they just come in, and honestly, they're so happy. You tell them to open wide, they just open. They're so responsive to everything you say, and half the time they forget. So next, when they come in for the review, they're like, oh, I didn't feel anything. Like, oh wow, like that was really fast. It will take you 2 hours, but that was really fast, And that's just how it is, So root canals, I mean, 1,500 for like up 6, 1,600. That's the sort of price range. So, say 90, let's say 90, 80% success rate. You'd be like, won't be so happy if it comes back failed. But that's what you do at the start. So you always give them the warning. So you say, look, this is a really deep filling. Like, if they come back, even if it wasn't sore before, you say, look, if we leave it, it's definitely going to die. Whereas if we put a filling in, we might have a chance of saving it, but it might hurt later. So always give them a warning, because otherwise, obviously, as we've all been taught at dental school, and pretty much any private practitioner will tell you, if you say it after, it's an excuse. You say it before, it's an explanation, and it's their problem, it's not yours. It's only your problem when you pick up the handpiece and start drilling. So, crowns 1,500, bridge 3 unit probably around sort of 4,000 or 5,000. So some people also like this. I just put this in because like some people might be really good at school, and then they come to uni and they don't do that well. And same with uni and into the real world. So like always trust yourself and make sure like you're really confident and you want to do this and you want to get in there straight away and get it done, because it doesn't matter what you do at school, grades-wise, and Jackie will agree. I mean, his grades weren't the best. Showed me his transcript, and even then, look how successful he is. I mean, you ask most dentists in Auckland, they'll know him. Like, I don't know any other dentist that has 9, 10 practices. So he's doing really well. I'm happy to be working with him. Implant dentistry. So I've actually placed a couple of implants myself, and this is actually my own case. Patient came in. He was eating a steak, so he couldn't claim ACC. He broke his tooth, and it broke subgingival on the buccal. So, to do that, we have to do crown lengthening, post, core, crown. End up costing it probably around sort of 3,500, 4,000. Crown lengthening on a front tooth. I'm not going to give you guys obviously any lecture and stuff, but on a front tooth, that's like the most aesthetic nightmare you'll ever get. Like, I've seen cases where people have done it and it's just like their gums like up here, and you're thinking, don't smile. Anyway, so this is basically what we do is send them for a CT. You know, I discussed options. I gave him the implant as an option. He said, "Yep, I'm keen." And then send them for a CT. Get the CT done. You do all the measurements. Basically here, you check, you know, buccal, palatal, mesiodistal, length. Length is very important, and inclination. So in this case, this was actually a really hard case for our first one, and even Jackie agrees. You've got quite thin cortical bone on the buccal, so you can't actually place it buccally. You have to go slightly palatal, and you see the root over here, slightly distal, so it's quite a tricky case. And definitely I didn't expect it to be like this, because taking out the tooth took a long time. You can only pretty much use a luxator. Like, if you expand the socket, implant is just going to be wobbling. You know, it's not ideal. So, and also the biggest probably fear is he had quite a thin sort of buccal plate. If that fractured, then we have to do a bone graft. So basically the extraction took me, what, 30 something minutes for just one tooth on the anterior. So you can imagine how careful we have to be. I'll just show you what we sort of did in just a quick video. Bit of local. So took out the tooth. Enucleation, so picking out all the soft tissue and stuff, because you want it to be in contact with bone. This is a pilot drill. Jackie checking, obviously. Take the x-ray and check as well, make sure you're in the right plane, and putting in the implant, make sure it clicks, because if that touches anything, that's $600, you have to get another one. So see how careful I am.
And the inflammation, and then there we go. It's just time. Which the bone level, because that was our reference. We wanted to be pretty much dead straight line.
That's the temporary abutment. Just adjusting, a bit of adjusting. Because obviously we had to go palatal, so we didn't quite get a good sort of alignment. But yeah, that's the result. I mean, he came in with no tooth. He came out with that as a temporary, so immediate loading. I think we got quite good. I think we got a really good result. And unfortunately, I didn't have the X-ray on me. I think Jackie might, so I'll show you guys in a bit later. But one of the things is definitely you have no idea. Like, if you can watch a million implants, you'll never be able to do it. It's like you have to actually get in and do it. And one of the things is when you take out a tooth and you're trying to find a new alignment for it, the drill is jumping around like crazy. Like, you need to have good finger support. Like, hold the drill, support it, make sure you're very dead straight. And you've got 3 alignments. You have to look at from the palatal, like, you know, look at it dead straight, make sure you get it exactly right, because it's really not that simple. Like, to just imagine it in your head, and your patient has to be right in front of you and things like that. You just don't consider it when you're watching someone do it, especially someone like Jackie who's very good at it. You think, oh, this looks really easy, and then he just goes in and does it. He does an implant in like 30 minutes, you know, and things like that. And implant is about 6,000, you know, a tooth. So definitely more high end, but a lot of people, it's getting a lot more common now, and especially in private practice, wouldn't you say? Yeah, it's definitely a way of the future. So just to explain, this is Jackie and his video. He got an award, BNZ, Outstanding Entrepreneur, and I think well deserved. I mean, he's done really well.
Hi, my name is Jackie Lam, 100% made in Hong Kong. I must confess I was never much good at school. When I was small, my biggest ambition was to be a taxi driver. When I was 17, my parents, in their great wisdom, decided to send me away as far as they could. That was New Zealand. One book, one man changed my life. By a miracle, I got into Otago Dental School, where I graduated in 1995. Just 6 months after graduation, I took out a bank loan and bought an old run-down dental practice in Otahuhu. My logo with the smiling teeth is still there, Smile Dental. This is how Smile Dental Otahuhu looked like before, and thanks God, after 10 years of hard work and by following the book instructions, I was able to transform Smile Dental into a modern, professional dental practices. From Albany to Papakura, from Henderson to Howard, you will find Smile Dental. If you can't find us, ask John. He knows where we are. Our mission is to provide affordable dentistry and superior service to our community. A good name is more to be desired than great wealth. In Sky Kiwi Forum, you'll see I'm a dentist with good skill and integrity.
我話嘅咧，成日都講一個人啊，如果要人哋服佢嘅，只有4個字：德高望重啊！
Jackie has vision and multi-talented.
We love Jackie because he's very gentle and nice.
If I had one word to describe Dr. Jackie Lam, I'm going to have to say modest.
Successful, wise and humble, smart, handsome, unique and full of talent.
Without the help of my great team, I would not have come this far. So thank you guys. To me, life means much more than money. After work, I enjoy music, church activities. I also actively involved in St. John Ambulance to share my knowledge, experience, and success with our young people. Attitude determines altitude. As a flying instructor, I teach my students how to set attitude and set reference point for different maneuvers. In applying this to our daily life, without a reference point, our life will be drifting endlessly. I truly believe with the right attitude towards life, work, family, and ourselves, we can all become outstanding entrepreneurs. We can all reach our potential and our destinations.
So that's pretty much a little bit about Jackie, and I just want to say, like, he's been a really, really good help, and I'm really happy that I've managed to work with him, and not just at work, but after work as well. I mean, we go flying together, and he lets us fly, believe it or not, and he's happy to teach us. And I mean, we go have dinner on like regular basis. We have a few beers and stuff after work, and discuss cases and even real just general chilling out. I mean, one time we had dinner or morning, whatever. It was like 5 in the morning on a Saturday night. He was out somehow and caught up, and then and we just it's just like chilled. It's not like I feel like he's obviously my boss and mentor, but I don't feel embarrassed about telling him anything about my cases or real life problems, and so I'm definitely I'm definitely very privileged, and thanks a lot, Jackie, for the opportunity you gave us, and hopefully you can take the stand.
Once again, thank you for all the compliments by Dr. Abdullah and Dr. Dashini, because I think I'm very lucky to have, I think they're the finest from last year, and I picked Abdullah on the spot at the interview. I said, well, if you want it, we'll give you the job. And Dashini, why she got the job is because she really showed me, she really want Smile Dental to be a fresh from Auckland. She came to my practice, cold call. I want an interview, I want to see you, and I want a job with you. And that's the attitude that I'm looking for. And once again, thank you for everyone that come here this morning. I know 9 o'clock is early, and someone might have come yesterday as well. On behalf of Smile Dental myself, I feel really bad.
We're sorry.
But I guess this is real life. I mean, we all make mistakes. Even no matter how experienced you are, you can always muck up a simple filling and things like that. So I think in pilot say we're talking about error correction, how to minimize the downside, and then we try to get the problem fixed. And thank you, Melissa. You text me very good. Like it was proactive. It was very good, and I really appreciate it. Okay, while I'm here today, first of all, I brought Dee and Abdullah here with us today, so hopefully we can give you some insight. Not just from me, I can give you big story, big time, but it's better from them. And hopefully, I think what they say is from the bottom of their heart is like, I'm trying to look after them, and they look after me really well as well. So thank you guys. All right, quickly go through my part of the presentation, and then after that we've got some Q&A time. So this is my company. This is me back in 1995. So I understand how everyone's feel because I went through the whole process of looking for jobs. I actually didn't get any jobs until after the examination because one of the person in Auckland got a job, but he failed the exams, so he could stay back for another 6 months. And that's how I got the job in Auckland. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it in Auckland, and I might be ended up overseas or something like that. But I had a good time in Dunedin, and I fully understand what you guys are going through right now. I'll give you a brief overview. It was founded in 1996. We are now probably the largest privately owned clinic. I mean, Luminor probably the biggest in the country, but they're owned by listed company, so I guess it's a little bit different. And same as Dental Corp. I think Dental Corp actually is a little bit smaller than us in Auckland. I think they've got 5 clinics in Auckland at this stage. Smile Dental owned by a dentist, while Dental Corp or Luminor just owned by a listed company. So they were more profit-driven. For us, we're more like people-driven. We're here to try to provide service and look after the community in Auckland. We have nine clinics in Auckland. Dee has shown you just now. We have about 14 dentists at the moment. We've got about 20 staff. We have about 100,000 patient base in total. We're turning over around 3.5 to 3.7 million, including GST, which is if we're taking out 50% off. And I'm very lucky, like I got the entrepreneurship award this year, and also we've just been selected as the finalists of the Excellence in Retail and with the Auckland Chamber of Commerce. And so we're actually having a award thing in November, see if I'll make it till the end, become the winner of that award. And we have another 4 categories in as well, so I'm going to see by the judges actually next Tuesday when I come back from this interview. And hopefully we'll build up our brand name in Auckland, and so that people know who we are, and we are actually doing good work that's been recognized by not just my patient, but also by like Chamber of Commerce and things like that. This are our locations, if you can see. So Albany to Papakura and West, we've got Henderson, the Nuance, and Wanui in the west. I don't know how it comes up like this. It's supposed to be transparent, but anyway, it's a 5K radius sort of coverage. So basically, we have achieved about a 95% coverage of all Auckland with all our clinics. So most people were able to find our clinics. We have a centralized database. So basically, if you're a Henderson patient, now you move to Harwick, you can still get all your files, X-rays, and things like that. Oh, probably not X-ray. We haven't digitalized yet because I'm from the old school, like back 17 years ago, and it's a lot of capital investment. And it's very hard to make money in dental business, to be honest. It's not as easy as you think, but we're going to slowly roll out this program this year, and maybe in the next 2 years, by then we should have all the clinics like digitalized by then. There's some of the pictures that I've took. On the top is Papakura, Remuera, and Manukau. This is Albany, the Henderson. Dr. Abdullah worked at Albany and Henderson, and Dr. Dashini worked at Henderson and Sylvia Park as well. Some of it was in East Auckland. Avondale was in West, and Wanui, I haven't got any photos yet because it's just done, and I'm down here quite busy lately, so I didn't take any photos. And this is the next newest project, which is City CBD, and the location at 280 Queen Street, so it's right in the, if you know Auckland well, we're opposite Smith and Coley, and where the big intersection is. So hopefully we'll attract quite a bit of people there, and that's why I'm here. So because we have a new ventures, and we want some of the best from your class to join us, and we do it together. I mean, I just can't do it on my own. I mean, I'm lucky to have like Dr. Abdullah and Dr. Dashini to work with me last year, and hopefully I'm going to keep them for many years to come. We have a big time. We really treasure about our staff. Our staff dinner is our 15 years anniversary, so we got like 15 years, and just show you some of the key person. This is Penelope, my general manager, and she's been looking after me for nearly 12 years now. And there's some of the other staff. There's Angie on the top is our receptionist, and and the one who answers all the phone calls. We have a call center, so all the phone calls go to centralized at Albany and Henderson. So we got pretty much 2 to 3 dedicated staff just answering phone calls and book appointments across all our network. And this our Christmas dinner last year, and I flew Abdullah up because he just joined me, and I just pay him come up so he can experience the big family feel and things like that. And on the one on the top left is Dr. Jovi. She's been with me for 16 years. So actually, I started at 96, and she joined me at 97, and she's still with me right now. And we have regular peer meetings, so we talk about cases, we talk about medical emergencies, and so we do it once every 3 months. We just missed our August one because we're here now, but we'll probably have one later on in the month to do that. And there's some other doctor, and Dr. Yixin worked with us as well, but she was here last weekend, I think, so that's why she doesn't want to come back again. So I just only take both Dee and Abdullah here. Anyway, hopefully the last one doesn't come off. Anyway, suppose we put the next column on the right. We have 14 dentists here. The right hand side got missing. I think it's when I transfer it around that marked it up. So we have 14 dentists, 8 of them from Otago. There's me 96, Dr. Phillips with me since year 2000, and Teresa 2001, and another Dr. Abdullah from year 2007. And then we have like Abdullah, Dee, Yixin, and Alice from, she graduated
2012.
Yeah. So we've got 8 dentists. And Phyllis, Teresa, Abdullah, and Obvious, them, they joined us from fresh grad, and then Phyllis been with me for 13 years. As a new grad, and she's still working with us. So we want to provide a very stable career for someone who wants to stay with us for long term. And I don't think I've ever fired anyone in my life, and I don't think I will either. So just to let you know, like what sort of company we are and what sort of person I am. There's some of the marketing things we've been doing alongside with Localers. We put on a lot of, it's a 100K sort of a campaign on internet, on Google's ad and things like that. So we try to put our name up on the Google search, so when you type dentist, Auckland, or emergency dentist, people will see your name up on the first page, and then it's all about impressions and all about how many people actually click your page and find it helpful. If more people click your page, it automatically jump up the list. Quite a complicated thing. We need a dedicated team to do it. So Localers is helping us to do that. And just some of the figures. So I think in the last 2 months, we'll have averaged like 10 phone calls just from the website, making appointments like for treatments. And we got about 280 plus impression, like campaign to life is about 2 months. 50% of people search dentists, you'll see the Smile Dental on either on the main side or on the side of the Google search, which is the other competitor is only achieving 30%. So that means we're getting a good exposures on internet, and we have about 8,000 clicks to Smile Dental so far. And this one figure is too small, I think. Anyway, so we're putting a lot of effort in marketing, and we have on the Asian side, it's on the Chinese, and we have about $80,000 campaign this year with WTV that you might know. So we'll be sponsoring the Singing Contest for next year, and we'll be sponsoring like 8 o'clock evening sort of TV programs on the Chinese channel for the next year, and so we've got some radio ads, TV ads, and things like that, try to get more Asian customer, which is part of our strength. So some of the dentistry I like doing, implant dentistry, because after 5 years of general dentistry, you sort of get bored, like, oh, root canal, just a root canal, just close your eye, you can still do it. I'm sure you'll get there very soon as well. It's not me, I'm just a very average, normal dentist. I'm nothing special about my dentistry. But in year 2008, I went to like UCLA and did an implant course, and this one I sort of reignite my interest in dentistry, to be honest. And now I'm quite enjoying doing implant dentistry. If I do it every single day, I might get sick. That's one. But I only sit maybe a case or 2 cases a month, and which is a good mix with my general dentistry. So I won't go in too far details in it because we're running short of time. But I really believe your success is my success or our success. No way I can do treating like 100,000 patients in my company. I need staff. I need to like pass on my experience to you guys as well. That's why Abdullah is very interested in implant dentistry. I said, oh, okay, I'll give you a hard time, like give you the case and let you do it. And he was sweating all the way through. But I think that's the only way to learn. I mean, because I'm a new grad before, I actually spent 6 months in the prison and like taking like teeth out like in prison, like they all got HIV, Hep B, Hep C, you name it, they got it. And it was very tough, and I'm all on my own. The guard sort of lock the gate and stand outside, and you sort of with some like serial rape person and things like that, and you're taking their teeth out. So it's quite stressful. I mean, I remember one time I got stuck at the top about 45 minutes, and I get a bit worried. Will he stab me with an elevator luxator? And I think that's the reason why I left the job. I mean, I didn't thought it would be that hard working in a prison, and then I thought, oh, man, my life kind of get in danger. And, I had to move on, and that's why I left. But advantage of working with Smile Dental is I only work for 4 days, and we've got 9 practices. Basically, you're your own boss. You do your own thing. I mean, we'll give you the support that you need. I got a lot of dentists and a great team. I wouldn't say all the mentors are as good. I try to do my best because it's my company, it's my life in Smile Dental. I think they've been over-exaggerated a little bit. I think just don't expect so much. Take like a 30% off what they said, and then I'll be happy. Yeah. But my job is to make sure you succeed, and you can look after the patient, you can look after my practice, you can build up your own patient base. So normally the first year is on salary. Next, the second year will be on full commission, 40%. So what you have built in your first year will become your business, and I certainly don't touch it, and I just leave it to you. And that's why Jovi been with me for 16 years, because I basically live the whole Papakura branch. I only go there when I finish my Friday in Ardmore, got a bit of time, I might go in and say hi and then shut off. So that's how much freedom you get in working in Smile Dental. After work fun is like we went to Primo on like a nightclub in Auckland, and then I think we partied till 5 a.m. and then they're a bit hungry, and then I took them to the Chinese restaurant and had some steamboat and took them flying and things like that. So for me, that I really want to say thank you for like Abdullah and Dee. I think you bring a lot of joy back into my life as well. So I mean, I hang out with them quite often, and I enjoy having company with them and going out together. Probably not too much at work, but more after work. This is what I treasure the most. That's what I like doing. I like flying. I like partying. I play in a band, and I like I instruct in the simulator in CBD as well on a 737. And yeah, I think I'm just trying to let you know I'm not a bored or dumb. I mean, a person that sort of like have a cold face and I'll just do dentistry and make profit. I think most people get along with me okay. So hopefully you guys will as well. Okay, the grand plan of 2014, we try to open CBD. We want to hire 3 to 4 new grads. So I think we narrowed down to about 16 applicants. So 25% chance you get a job. Okay. Even you don't get a job, I think there's a small community in New Zealand, and especially in dentistry. I really want to build up like friendship, and so we're not in competition. We just complement with each other, and if anything that we can help, even though we don't work in the same company, any advice you want to get, just give us a call. I'm sure Abdullah and me and Dee, we're happy to help you out if you got stuck in things like that. All right, just anyway, okay, I'll just finish it in here. So we want the best, because we try to give you the best as well. We'll give you the best location, best support we can. We only got 3 to 4 vacancies available, unfortunately, so I can't pick every single one of you. But by no means you're not good. It's just like we have a limited capacity next year. And maybe a year or 2 years later, when you get more experience, and you want to come and join us again, feel free. And we're looking forward to that as well. Private practice can be challenging and competitive. So because patients are paying good money for their treatment, so I need the base to be with my company, so I can give the basic service to our customer as well. This is my grace, and like I said, I don't think anyone can be worse than this. But I failed 2 papers in 4th year and kept the receipt as well. The best grade I got was a B- in my oral surgery, so I think that's why I like wisdom tooth and implant dentistry. But anyway, and now I've got a lot of certificates, a lot of continuous education, and try to upskill myself. I don't think grade really matters. I think as a good general dental practitioner, it's your attitude, your service, and how you deal with patient and communication skills. You can do only dentists will judge dentist work, but patient will not only judge how friendly you are, whether you explain the things to them nicely. You can do I've seen really shit dentistry by like some very old New Zealand graduate dentist, but his practice was like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks ahead. Why? I think he got a good charm, he talked to the patient well, but if another colleagues look at the x-ray and say, oh shit, how can that happen? Yeah, that's so true. So don't worry about your clinical skills. Actually, okay, to summarize it, attitude determines altitude. Like I want the right people to join me with the right attitude. So we'll try to give you 100% or maybe 150%. I'll demand 200 or maybe 300 from you. But I think it's a good deal. I think I got what you want, and I will try to give our best to you. But as a new year first grad, we take a lot of risks as well. I mean, we got clinics we got to build up, and a lot of overhead for us as well. We're talking about spending 150,000 on ads just to get you a new patient and give you to try and see if you can retain the patient. If not, then the patient will go somewhere else. So it's a lot of investment for us, a lot of risk for us as well, but we're happy to do it because we want to support the New Zealand sort of dental community, and we want to make sure more graduates actually stay in New Zealand. So this is where I am at. So are you ready for this? Hopefully you are. And once again, thank you for the time, and quick Q&A time, and once again, thank you, Dean, Dr. Tula, and Dr. Ashimi for doing after-hours work to get the presentation done. I think we didn't finish it till last night, and this morning we're still doing some changes, and yeah. All right, any questions? I know you got clinics very soon. So.